Why did this happen? It's the first question we reach for the moment a tragedy strikes. Our minds are built to find a cause, a specific action, or a logical sequence of events that explains why everything changed. We look for a line of logic we can follow back to its source. We feel as though we need that explanation to survive the trauma. But when the reason remains hidden, that silence can make the pain feel like a personal, calculated punishment. Searching for a retrospective cause rarely brings peace. Often, it just adds a second layer of exhaustion to an already unbearable situation. Shortly after a girl named Hope was born, her parents learned that her life would be measured in months or years, not decades. They faced the task of explaining Hope's condition to every friend and family member they knew, answering the same sympathetic questions until the words themselves became a burden. To find a way through the repetition, they sent out a single card to everyone.
It explained that while they didn't know the reason for her short life, they wanted their response to glorify God in the months ahead. They were standing in a vacuum. They were facing a specific medical tragedy and struggling to find a way to justify the unexplainable. This dilemma isn't new. 2,000 years ago, Jesus' disciples encountered a man who had been blind since birth. They immediately voiced the same human reflex we use today. They asked, "Who sinned, this man or his parents?" This chart shows how we usually process pain, finding a direct link between a past action and a present punishment. But Jesus rejects the premise. He tells them the blindness wasn't caused by anyone's sin. He points in a new direction. This happened so that the work of God could be displayed. This response replaces a backward-looking search for a cause with a forward-looking search for a purpose. At a Good Friday service months later, Hope's mother was still trying to carry the weight of her daughter's diagnosis. As she read Jesus' response to the blind man, the words became clear. For the first time, she felt she could stop demanding that God explain the why. She didn't need a medical or moral justification for Hope's condition to move forward. It wasn't that the grief disappeared, but the intellectual struggle did. She no longer had to interpret the entire universe to find a reason to keep going. Approaching a tragedy as a canvas for a future display, rather than a punishment for the past, changes the way a person carries their grief. What does it look like to display the work of God in our own lives? It requires moving from a passive reaction to an active response. Demanding an explanation is a closed loop of frustration, but deciding to trust God's character in the middle of a mystery is an active, visible choice. When we reflect that trust, we transform a moment of random pain into an unmistakable display of character for everyone around us. We can find purpose today without waiting for our circumstances to finally make sense. That purpose is found in the incredible privilege of being a reflection of light in our darkest moments. Take a moment to consider what demands or resentments you might need to clear away to become that reflection.